Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for." I agree with the second part.
Rock and roll, really listen to them. I'm really excited to be here. This is the third year I've done this, and I wouldn't be able to do this if it weren't for Adam Brooke. He's unfortunately not been able to make the past couple because he's been in legal trouble himself. So if we could all just give a round of applause for Adam Brooke really quickly. It's my duty to remind you of a couple things. You're on Ann Arbor, University of Michigan campus, so they follow state law here. I personally don't care if you use or not, but if you do, you run the risk of being charged under state law. Even if you have a medical card that's open medication and it's illegal. So just keep that in mind. Also, be sure not to litter. There are trash cans around. And try to take care of this beautiful campus. I'm really excited for the day we have ahead of us. And so, without any further ado, if you could just take off your hats, turn around and face the flag for the singing of the national anthem by Diag Olson, straight out of Cuba.
Oh, say, can you see, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Give it up once again for Dora Golson! Without further ado, I want to introduce our first speaker of the afternoon. He is the most passionate, devoted warrior I have ever known. He's been a true soldier in this war for over 40 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Chuck Reed!
Welcome to Ann Arbor, the cannabis capital of the Midwest. Ann Arbor voters would be very happy to see fully legal cannabis and the robust economic activity that comes with it. Historic progress has been made in our movement this year. Now we know that total victory is coming much sooner than we thought. This historic progress, however, won't happen by itself. We have to make it happen or help it happen. Why do I love cannabis so much? Because it helps me physically feel better every day of my life. And it makes me a happy person, a whole person, maybe even a spiritual person. I taught kindergarten. I spit on the microphone. I taught kindergarten for 33 years. Let me teach a little lesson here today. Boys and girls, the drug war was not a failure. The drug war was wildly successful. It was a failure only in terms of its stated objectives, things like reducing the supply of drugs or the use of drugs. It was completely successful in terms of its real goal, which is social control. Unconstitutional social control. In the early 70s, Nixon's silent majority was the majority, and they were terrified that the country would be ruined by rioting blacks and our culture would be undermined by hippies, so they had a drug war. Now, does anybody worry anymore about rioting blacks or hippies? No, they're all taken care of, aren't they? My point is that the police state has won. The police state has won the drug war. Yes. So now they have 8 times as much prison space as they had when I was in college. Every county has a fully militarized SWAT team. They have plenty of room for you in jail. Yes. So they don't have to do it anymore. They've got their police state all set up. They can drop the war on cannabis now. They don't need it anymore. They've got terrorism anyway. But they won't stop. They won't stop destroying freedom in America. In Michigan, we have local initiatives. They give us a platform to fight marijuana prohibition. In the past, we won 5 local initiatives to prepare to get the grant to get our state law, medical law. Now we have won 6 more. Since the state law passed, we won 6 more. But they are not listening to us. So we're going for Lansing. We're going for Lansing this year. And we're going to win big in Lansing. But we don't have enough money. We need your help to win in Lansing. We need these local campaigns are how we make progress. We can't go on without your help to pay petitioners in Lansing. Please give to the Lansing campaign. We all have benefited from these local campaigns. We love our new law that we've got. We will also have in Lansing at the same time a decriminalization bill in the legislature, right while we're doing this in the city. This is going to be real important. You can only give by check. These green slips in my pocket tell you exactly how to give money to the Lansing campaign. Please pass out these green slips to people who might give a check to the Lansing campaign. We will win. We are the American patriots, and we will gain our freedom.
Thank you, Chuck Reeve. Thank you, my brother.
Please
I want to
pass
mention,
these back.
first of all, welcome to Ann Arbor. I want to point out the buckets. We've got a bucket drive going on right now. Orange buckets you see going around. Please give generously. Next, I want to introduce for you Everett Swift. He's the founder of Michigan Hemp. Everett is working very hard on having local municipalities pass resolutions saying, yes, damn it, we want to be able to grow industrial hemp in our county. Please give it up for Mr. Everett Swift.
Welcome to Ann Arbor and welcome to Hash Bash, everybody. Do we have any industrial hemp activists out here? I don't hear very many. If you're like me and you've been watching the Kentucky Industrial Hemp Bill for the last couple or 3 months, you'll know that today the governor has to make a choice. He can either veto the industrial hemp bill in Kentucky, sign it into law, or let it become law. As of last night, he decided he's not going to do anything about tomorrow, and Kentucky will be the 9th industrial hemp state in the United States. So I want Michigan to wake up. We got to wake up and teach these legislators that industrial hemp is not a drug. It does have female plants, and it is jobs.
Amen.
We got 4 counties in this state that said they want the state to allow our farmers to grow industrial hemp. So far, Lansing has turned a deaf ear on us. But things are going to change. Very soon, we may see an industrial hemp bill introduced in Lansing. Yes. I want to close. I'm not going to take up too much time here and bore you people because I'm not a good speaker. But we have a farmer fund going at United Hemp. We want to raise $40,000 to sponsor a farmer to apply with the DEA for a permit to grow industrial hemp. That will help us teach people what industrial hemp is and how we can use it to create jobs in this state. Come over to Monroe Street Fair to the MI Hemp Tent. Let us show you what industrial hemp can do, and maybe drop $1 or $2 in our donation jar. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me back there?
I can't hear
Are you guys high already? Can you hear me back there? Thank you. Coming up next, my dear friend Michael Kamorn is a criminal defense attorney. He gets up every morning and weeps for every one of us that have police encounters in this ridiculous ongoing civil war against marijuana and the people who grow and use it. Please help him. Please welcome for me the leader of Michigan Medical Marijuana Association and the host of Planted Green Trees, 8 o'clock Thursday nights, internet radio. Please give it up for Mr. Michael Kamorn.
Thank you. How's everybody feeling? I gotta say, this is a tremendous honor to be here for so many people. I feel lucky here at one of the greatest universities in the world talking about freedom. I want to thank our organizers putting this on, Sherry Goltz and Mark Passerini. Can I give another freedom? My topic today is the attack on doctors, or said another way, an attack on your freedom. How many of you are patients who are afraid to own a gun, to drive, worried about losing your job because you're a medical marijuana patient, afraid to be kicked out of housing? Freedom here is the operative word. Freedom to vote. Freedom to be protected in the laws voted for, which should include the freedom of choice established in the voter initiative of 2008. Yet here we are almost 5 years, and patients are still afraid to exercise those choices of freedom. Patients should not be afraid. The choice to use the medicine, both you and your doctor's choice, is a choice of freedom. It is a freedom that is under attack currently in Michigan. Never before in the history of American jurisprudence has there ever been the type of scrutiny being applied to the medical profession like it has been here in Michigan for the heroic doctors who have acted to certify medical marijuana patients in Michigan. The Michigan Medical Marijuana Act says the doctor is the gatekeeper, and now in courtrooms across the state, ignorant prosecutors and judges are playing doctor and claiming they know more than licensed physicians. Or said another way, they think they know what is best to treat medical marijuana patients. This is not a judicial decision. It's not a decision to be made in a courtroom. It is a decision made by a patient and a doctor in the privacy of a doctor's office. How many of you know of someone who's been close to or been arrested under the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act, who fears driving in Michigan? How many lose sleep at night because they've had their car, worried that they're going to be raided because they're a caregiver? How many are afraid that if they are raided, they're going to lose their possessions stolen by the state under draconian forfeiture laws? How many fear losing their children over marijuana? This has been an attack on your freedom. When I see marijuana, I'm seeing cannabis, the plant that has been used medically for over 5,000 years. It's never resulted in one single death. The same, unfortunately, cannot be said for the current traditional treatments. The complaint from the opponents is that chronic pain is the primary condition that makes up the Michigan Medical Marijuana Pain Registry. At the same time, the Michigan Department of Community Health has statistics which show that 27% of Michigan households sought treatment for chronic pain. This makes sense. Michigan has been the backbone of the Industrial Revolution for over 80 years. Michigan citizens have been the labor force on the line, building cars and serving as a brick and mortar for the entire world. Now, because of the work, they suffer from chronic pain, and they're getting attacked. Notice, it wasn't their choice. It wasn't their choice. It was building to be part of the American dream that caused the type of chronic pain I'm talking about. Now they're in pain and they want to use medicine that's non-addictive and non-toxic. What is happening in Michigan has become a tragedy. And the idea that doctors are under scrutiny is wrong. I'm asking you to choose freedom. I'm asking you to choose to embrace the Michigan medical marijuana. Vote out the judges and legislatures that are affecting this law's implementation. And let's have freedom in Michigan.
Thank you, Michael. Coming up next, another criminal defense attorney from Kalamazoo. This is John Targowski. He's fighting the fight in federal court for us. In case you didn't know, the feds still hate you and want you in prison, my friends. Give it up for Mr. Targowski.
First they fight you, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Our war is about ignorance. The drug war, folks, is about taking us for granted. It's about starting off in the 1930s and about making this about the other, making this about race, making this about class, making this about something that you're not, and making this about you being a criminal. It's a war of ignorance. It's also a war of laughter. It's a war of laughter because historically, we've had no say in court. We've had the Supreme Court, the appellate courts shut us down on the 4th Amendment, the 6th Amendment, the 8th Amendment. And what I do for a living, what a lot of us do for a living, is stand up, figuratively, for everybody that is facing a mandatory minimum in federal court. In front of the 5 federal judges we have in the Western District and the 10 or 20 or so that we have here in the Eastern District. This is also a war about fighting. Fighting is about using the tools we have in the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act. It's using that to leverage us to get a better act, to get something like what our brothers and sisters have in Colorado and Washington, to get that now, to get that soon. Remember, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you,
Then you win!
then you win. Let me tell you what winning's like. Winning's like, you don't need a John Targowski, you don't need a Michael Camoran. You don't need that because marijuana is as legal as coffee. It's legal as bananas. It's legal as oranges. I want the people, I want the graduates of Michigan Law School, the graduates today, or well, next month, not to have what I do for a living as an option, because there's no need. And that's what winning is. So remember, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then... Thank you.
Who here is familiar with a group called SSDP? Students for Sensible Drug Policy. This is an international group with over 200 chapters. Our next guest is the president of SSDP from EMU. He was responsible, one of the people responsible, for the lowest law enforcement priority in Ipsy, which passed by 74%. Ladies and gentlemen, Miles Giroux.
It's great to see so many people out supporting sensible policy and making their voice heard today. Give it up for yourselves.
Around back here, see the circle of guys standing around? He's up and walking, that's him right there walking with the grate. Walking away, okay, he's up and walking.
Okay.
He was laying on the ground shaking.
Okay.
He was having a ball.
I'm stuck here. Find a police officer.
Okay,
There.
somebody else went to find him, so I thought I'd come
Okay.
and say something to you guys.
I'm sorry. I can't leave here.
In economic times, we have such limited resources
Find an officer.
that
They need to
everyone
do a
is
good
dealing
job
with
as
in
well as
government.
their
And
other
every time that a
Somebody
police
else is
officer is out busting someone for marijuana or
Thank you.
prosecuting someone, that is time time and money we can be spent taking care of harmful crimes like identity theft, murder, rape, and arson. That was the premise behind doing the lowest law enforcement priority law. Public safety is a bigger issue than just to marijuana smokers and cannabis users. This is an issue that affects every single person in this country and is making everyone more unsafe. All the money we spend could be spent on something much better like education that would truly build up our society. As citizens, we have a responsibility to change unjust laws in our country. That is how it works for our government to be for the people. That requires us as citizens to become educated about what we believe in and become responsible citizens so we can reflect the values that we keep as people. As Mahatma Gandhi said, we must become the change in the world we would like to see. After becoming educated, we need to make our voices heard to our politicians. And by doing that, we need to be writing letters, meeting with them, and coming out to rallies like that so they can hear what the people actually want. It's time to get more people from outside this movement in and make them see how sensible our policies are. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Have a great day and enjoy the day.
Thank you, Miles. You know, the youth really are the future of this movement. And I'm so thrilled to be able to hand over this work to these very competent, very, very beautiful young people. Coming up next, we've got Drew Driver. He's the spokesperson for the National Patients' Rights Association. And Robin Schneider, she's the legislative liaison for that organization as well. They're going to talk to you a little bit about patients and also about the upcoming Provisioning Center bill. It's the bill that they're working to undo all the damage the Supreme Court just did by letting municipalities decide whether or not they want to regulate dispensaries, also known as provisioning centers. Drew Driver, please welcome him.
Thank you, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the University of Michigan students for sensible drug policy. I'd like to thank NORML, I'd like to thank ASA, I'd like to thank all the other dedicated advocates that worked so hard to put this together. I am personally so honored to be able to speak here at the 42nd Annual Hash Bash. I'd like to take a moment to tell everybody about the National Patients' Rights Association and what we're doing to further the cause and protect the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act. The National Patients' Rights Association is a group of Michigan residents, patients, caregivers, business owners from all around the state. Our current focus is on House Bill 4271, that's the Local Provisioning Centers Act. We believe the time has never been more urgent to support the need for safe access in the state of Michigan. We're working with top press relation firm company and top lobbyists in Lansing and all around the state to support 4271. However, we cannot do it alone. We need your help.
We're here.
There are so many different things you can all do to support marijuana in the state of Michigan. You can take the time to write your state representatives, write your senators, talk to your local elected officials, show your support for marijuana and cannabis reform. You can do just simply talking to family, friends. It all helps. We all need to be activists. We all need to step up. There's never been a more exciting time for marijuana reform around the state and around this country. We are winning. Just this week, there was a Pew Research Center study. For the first time in the United States, 52% of the people polled support legalization. That same survey put medical marijuana support at 77%. Again, this is huge. We are winning. Now it's time for everybody to work together. We all got to come together for the common goal. A little hard work from all of us. We are going to change the laws. Now is the time. We can do it. If we can help in any way, please check us out, nprausa.com. There's all kinds of great information. We hold monthly meetings the second Tuesday of every month around the state. Our open meetings, everybody's welcome to come and check it out. And again, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. Let's keep this moving forward.
Hi everyone, I'm Robin Schneider. I'm the Legislative Liaison for the National Patients' Rights Association. we spend our time in Lansing working every day to make sure that the legislators know that we want change, we want more protection, and we want to make sure that every patient in the state of Michigan has immediate access to medical marijuana. Nobody deserves to wait while their plants are being grown. If somebody has cancer or somebody's really terminally ill, they need to go and they need to be able to get relief immediately. And honestly, I've lost a lot of friends in the last year, and I'm sick of watching my friends pass away and struggle just to get access to a medicine that the voters in the state of Michigan said that people who are sick, they can have it. So we need to keep working to make sure that they're not being put in bad situations. We want to know that they're safe. We want to know that they have access to medicine that's been tested if they want it tested. And we're not going to give up. We're here for the long road. 3 years ago, we sat in a task force meeting in the House of Representatives, and law enforcement and prosecutors sat on one side of the room, and all the medical marijuana people sat on the other side of the room. But I'm here to tell you that something is changing. Instead of us being split up, we're starting to work together, and we're starting to compromise, and it's been a long road, but the change is happening. 3 years ago, they said really horrible things about us. I felt like a second-class citizen every day trying to work on this. It was very humiliating. But we kept going, and we kept showing up, and Drew's been there with me the whole way. And now, all of a sudden, they're calling us, and they're asking us for help, and they're asking what our opinions are, and they're talking about industrial hemp, and they're talking about legalization, and they're talking about dispensaries. And we have a bill introduced, House Bill 4271 introduced, and it's bipartisan. We have 8 co-sponsors who are Republican and 8 co-sponsors who are Democrats. We are moving forward, we're gaining support, and it's a beautiful thing. I just want to let you guys know that, we're committed to this cause, and we're not going to give up until everybody has their medicine.
Thank you, Robin Schneider. Thank you so much. And, as she pointed out, Robin, the day after the Supreme Court ruling just screwed us all regarding our safe access, Robin hustled, and in less than a week, she did get 8 Republican, 8 Democratic sponsors for this bill. Please call your representatives. Please tell them to support the Provisioning Center bill. Coming up next, someone I've been working with very closely to organize this rally, Mark Passerini. He's the owner of OHM. He's one of the owners of OHM of Medicine here in Ann Arbor. It's a beautiful facility. He's a compassionate, wonderful guy. Please welcome Mark Passerini.
Who here loves cannabis? That's what I thought. Think about all the reasons why you love cannabis. I'm going to name a few. Stress relief, nausea, tremors, seizure, neuropathy, Crohn's, MS, lupus, migraines, epilepsy, PTSD, hepatitis, muscle spasms, arthritis, cancer, depression, muscle and joint pains, PMS, fibromyalgia, stress relief. For thousands of years.
And it gets you high.
For thousands of years, we've used cannabis for all these reasons and so many more. It's about time that we ask not what marijuana can do for you. Ask what you can do for the marijuana movement. The most important message that I can convey today is do something, anything. Whether it's supporting hemp, supporting medical marijuana, supporting legalization, supporting rights, human rights, civil liberties. Do something. We have thousands of people here. Next week, if everybody just spent an hour or two, we could change policy almost immediately. Personally, I'm not afraid of a lot of things. Clearly, from all the smoke in the crowd, neither are a lot of you. One thing that really scares me, though, is that a group of legislators that know little or nothing about the laws that they actually vote on. And it's up to us to educate them. It's up to us, so my fellow bashers of hash, the time is now. The time is now to evolve as a movement. It's time to put forth the effort. It's time to take action. This is a whole new era of marijuana. We're starting to be taken a lot more seriously. We have the ability to change the hearts and minds of the entire great state of Michigan, starting right here in downtown Ann Arbor. It's high time we mobilize as an organized, unified community. We have the truth on our side, so let's spread it. It's time to educate, inspire, and evolve. The next guest I have coming up is the godfather of marijuana in the state of Michigan. He is responsible for the decriminalization in the city of Detroit. He will be one of the people responsible for decriminalizations in cities all across our state. Ladies and gentlemen, the godfather, Tim Beck.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and happy hashbacks, everybody. One of my favorite days of the year to kind of hang out with friends, meet new friends, tell a man where to go, and enjoy ourselves. Well, this year is different. It is a celebration for me personally, and it should be for all of you. You know, Drew Driver mentioned that poll. 52% of the American people believe that marijuana should be legal. You know what that means? It means we are in the majority. It means when you get hassled by busybodies and relatives and jerk-off type people that don't get the picture, you can tell them that, hey, you're the one that needs counseling. You are the one that needs to be deprogrammed. You are the one that needs to get a fucking life. And you know, we had 5 real good polls, the best of all in the state of Michigan. We decriminalized marijuana in Flint, Detroit, and Grand Rapids, and Ypsilanti. We kicked their ass. The city of Detroit would not allow us to be on the ballot in 2010. We fought them all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court told Detroit, put it on the ballot, let the people vote. 65% of the vote, people said yes. And Lansing and Jackson are in play this year, and we're going to kick their ass again.
Give it up once again for Tim Beck. Our next speaker is the hardest working man in the cannabis biz. He's a co-founder of Third Coast Compassion, on the board of Michigan Americans for Safe Access, one of the hosts of Planet Green Trees. He's here to talk about the newly formed chapter of Michigan ASA. This is a man that lives, sleeps, breathes, and eats and smokes marijuana all day long. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Lowe.
All right, thanks everybody for coming out today. Just a reminder, we passed the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act by 63% of the vote in 2008. It is the responsibility of state government to create laws to support our act, not to destroy it. As voters, as citizens, as human beings, our rights are being trampled, our voices are being silenced, and our vote is being ignored. Michigan is not the only state where this is happening. And other states have been successful in fighting government takeover of the people's initiative. A national organization that has helped regain control of their law now has a chapter in Michigan. Americans for Safe Access is that organization. You can find us on Facebook, you can see us at the Monroe Street Fair, you can look for our press releases, but we are an organization that needs you. And as Mark said, contribute, be involved, learn about whatever fits you, but do something today while you're here at the Monroe Street Fair. ASA fights for this dispensary law that was mentioned by Drew and Robin today. And we want to see more safe access to this medicine. Should the sick and injured have to get their medicine from a dope peddler on the corner? No. Should old people have to get their meds from Craigslist because some Republican senator thinks they aren't sick enough to deserve protection? No. Do you people want your dispensaries back? Then join ASA. Be part of an organization that has shown they can make a difference in state politics. Join ASA, find us on Facebook at rallies, in the news. Join ASA and fight for your rights. My name is Jamie Lewan, the Vice Chair. I'll be around today. Please come talk to me. Thank you very much. And now I have the honor of introducing one of the great organizers of today's event and the founder of Michigan Moms United, my good friend, Sharmi Golson.
Thank you, Jamie. Well, I'm going to say it again. Welcome to Ann Arbor, people. Brothers, how you doing out there? I want to hear from my brothers. Sisters? How many of you were here last year at Hashtag? How many of you were here at the very first Hashtag? How many of you were alive in 1972 at the very first? We've been gathering here for 42 years to protest this country's longest running civil war that we've ever seen. And we've been gathering here for 42 years as long as they've been hunting us and trying to put us in cages. You know what, I gotta say something. I need to say three things to you right now. Renee Wolf. Right. Greg Starks. Yep. And Adam Brook. Thank you for indulging me. Isn't cannabis wonderful? Don't you love it? Well, for this adult, and I am perfectly capable of making my own health care choices, I assure you. For this adult, cannabis helps me with inflammation, it helps me with pain, a great deal. I'm a chronic pain patient, and it does help me with PTSD. It helps me with PMS. Someone mentioned that earlier, I can't remember who. It keeps other people safe during PMS. And for this woman who has been sexually assaulted, like 1 in 3 women in this country, it does help me with my PTSD. And it does not make me a pharmaceutical, drugged-out zombie incapable of doing the work that I am supposed to be doing here. You know, the state just approved PTSD as a qualifying condition for medical marijuana. You know that? I want to see all the veterans, all the men and women who served honorably in our armed forces, and all the women, like I said, 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted in this country. Guess what? We all have PTSD. And I'm not taking your crap for it anymore either. I'm going to use cannabis. I'm going to take my position as a healer and as a woman, because it is the women who give birth to a nation and lead them, my brothers and sisters. United, and our goal is to educate the media, the legislators, and the public about how the failed drug war intersects with and destroys families. Because my choice to use cannabis as a medicine makes me an enemy in this war. But as the founder of Michigan Moms United, we want to insert common sense into this war. We have a problem with you tasing our kids for pot. I got a problem with that. I have a problem with you giving my children and anyone else's child an arrest record that creates barriers to housing, education, and employment. I have a problem with the militarized soldiers kicking in doors of peaceful families because they may have plans. So the mothers are here to inject some very common sense into this situation. We are looking for raid victims. We're looking for asset forfeiture victims. We're looking for folks who are dealing with child protective services. So come and see me. I can't believe I keep doing this, but if you've been traumatized by those bastards, come and talk to me, and we're doing what we can to help. We're trying to institute a lawsuit against police brutality. I'm working with Representative Jeff Irwin, who will be speaking to you in a little while, on an asset forfeiture reform bill, so they have to get a conviction before they take your shit. Oh, listen, you guys, I got a job for you. I know you showed up and you're gonna have a great time. Thanks for coming to our party, by the way. But I have a job for you. We need to change this conversation. This has been going on for so long. It appears that the legislators and the public officials who I have always prayed would publicly say what they tell me privately are ready to do that. Not only did Colorado and Washington legalize marijuana for recreational uses, and we've got Mason Teeter coming to speak to you about that. He's one of the co-sponsors of that bid in Colorado. But we had those 5 very successful citywide campaigns that were passed in November as well. So now the legislators and the public officials are finally ready to publicly say what they always tell me privately, which is this war is a failure. When people ask you, should we legalize marijuana? I want you to ask them, wait a minute, should we be asking if we should keep fucking arresting people for pot? Isn't that the question we need to be asking? I don't want to talk about why we should legalize marijuana. I want you to tell people why we need to end the war and why keeping it prohibited does not make us safer. It does not keep marijuana out of my kids' schools. It does not stop drug war violence and gang violence everywhere. And they're hunting us and putting us in cages. So I want you to ask people when they say, should we legalize marijuana? I want you to say, I don't know, should we continue this failed policy? What are we getting for it? I guess my time is up. Lift your hearts. Lift your voices. You are the future. Thank you for coming.
What a beautiful crowd.
Thank you.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for coming out.
Has anybody heard of the magazine High Times? Yeah! Oh, you have? Okay. Good, good. Our next guest is the editorial director of High Times.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Scott.
Thank you. High Times has been this for 38 years. 38 years. I don't know what the hell you're cheering about. Pot's still illegal. I don't know if you've noticed. Well, we're trying, but usually we're just a little bit too high. Hey, listen, I want everybody to know, I'm from Michigan. I was born in Flint. My parents went to Ann Arbor High School. And I went to the University of Michigan. The last hash bash I was at was in 1975, 38 years ago. I came over here, smoked a joint, really windy day. Got about 2 puffs in, the joint was gone. I said, damn, I'm not high. Went back, I had a conference with my student advisor, and I realized I am high. Nothing has ever bad happened. Nothing has ever bad happened to me from pot, except from losing my scholarship.
And never will.
Nothing bad has happened. Seriously. I mean, what? This is a dangerous plant?
Unless you count jail time.
Outlaw poison ivy first before you outlaw pot. Hey, listen, this is something I always say. You know, in every high school, in every graduating class, they say, you know, maybe 500 to graduating class. Within 1 year, one of those people will be dead. So, on a day like today, somebody in this audience next year, you ain't gonna be here. All right? That's sad, right? Now, I've been smoking pot since I was 20 years old. And for most of that time, I've been skulking around, hiding it, acting like a criminal. Now, you're alive now. I may not be able to see the time when all 50 states are legal. Now, remember, we have only 2 that are legal right now. We have 48 that aren't. Drive across Kansas. Drive across Nebraska. Take your life in your hands, okay? It's terrible. I will probably not live to see this country go completely legal. It's up to you guys. You younger people, don't wait as long as I did, okay? Do it now. Thank you. One more thing. Who wants to be in high times? Okay, now everybody smile. On three, I want you all to jump up.
This one won't be it.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yes!
All right, now I all want you to hug the person next to you. Hug. Yes! Yes! Do it! Hug each other!
Who's not hugging up there? Come on, don't be shy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is a lawyer with the Mid-Michigan Cannabis Attorneys and a huge marijuana activist, speaking on the erosion of our civil liberties, Denise Pomicella.
Welcome to my alma mater, Go Blue. A sheriff in Lapeer has convinced an entire county of people that he can walk into their homes anytime and look around and take their marijuana and take their guns and take their personal property. Does that sound right to anybody here? A lawyer in Kalamazoo County who works for a city has told a nonprofit agency that they can no longer speak or educate the public about marijuana. They can't talk about it. Does that sound right to you? No! Helicopters are flying over your homes. They are looking into your backyards, and with infrared, they are looking into your homes for your grow rooms. Does that sound right to you? No! It doesn't sound right because it's not right. We thought we lived in a democracy, but you don't anymore. You live in a state that is one of the most corrupt and least transparent in this nation. Yes. You live in a state where 63% of us, citizens and voters, can tell our elected officials that we want to use a plant to ease our pain, except that they don't listen to you anymore. No. They listen to corporations, they listen to big pharmaceutical, and they listen to money. Yep. Yep. Every single group of people that has fought for civil liberties throughout history, who has challenged power, has had to fight, and now so do you. Because for 4 years, we have watched a swift erosion of our civil liberties here in the name of a drug war that never existed. It is time to fight. Get off the couch, get off the sidelines. You start calling, you start writing. You have fun today, and then you go home and you act. You show up at the voting booth, you show up at your legislator's office, you show up. Because we need to stick together and fight this. Okay? Nobody else up here is going to stop fighting. I'm not going to stop fighting, and neither should you.
Yesterday, the Michigan Medical Marijuana Review Panel voted to recommend PTSD as a qualifying condition. Our next speaker is almost solely responsible for this. By actively lobbying state legislators to recognize PTSD, he is responsible for language in House Bill 4834, one of the Walsh bills, directing Laura to create the Michigan Medical Marijuana Review Panel. He also played a critical role in the Ypsilanti campaign, lowest law enforcement priority, passed with 74%. He is a 9-year veteran, now one of the most devoted activists we've got, John Evans.
Thank you. And I want to thank all of you out here for peacefully expressing your right to assemble. This is beautiful to me. This is why I spent 9 years in the Navy. I believe the right to free speech, the right to peacefully assemble, and the right to bring grievances to our government, this is what makes our country greater than others. I love my country, and I love my government. It's not broken, it's neglected.
I'm here asking you to show respect and do your part. Exercise your rights and get involved in the process. Your rights are like muscles. If you do not exercise them, you will lose them. Understanding the sacrifices people have made for your rights. A first-class citizen knows to get active. A first-class citizen knows to speak up when things are wrong. A first-class citizen knows to be active and petition the government when the government is not expressing the will of the people. I'm here asking you to be a first-class citizen and exercise your rights. I am proud of the 9 years I spent in the Navy, but I am more proud, have more satisfaction in expressing my rights and changing public policy. The rewards can be awesome. For me, incredibly rewarding. In Lansing, after the Walsh bills passed the House, the legislative aide grabbed me by the shoulder and looked me in the eye and said, "You've done a good thing. You've done something that's going to help a lot of people." That was awesome. You want to talk about a head rush? That was awesome. And Ypsilanti actually voting on the issue was, thank you, sir. Let's get active and do it. And Ypsilanti actually voting on lowest law enforcement priority.
Why are we going to argue just illegalized pot?
Thank you, sir. Both of these I consider major accomplishments in my life, and I share in hopes to motivate you. Get active, play a part, get involved in the process. Understand it doesn't matter what you do, but you need to get involved. You have that responsibility.
Hey, I'm big.
We've got local, we've got statewide campaigns. Educate others about jury nullification, or make a quilt, or following the footsteps of Renee Wolf. That woman did more in one day in Lansing than I did in 4 months. I'm here asking you to show the respect to those that have given you your rights. Exercise those rights now. Speak up, take action, get involved. Thank you.
Thank you, John Evans. How you guys doing out there? Things are heating up. We've got politicians coming. We've got our national speakers coming up to talk to you. But right now I want to introduce...
I'm speaking up.
There's always one guy drinking in the crowd of these things. Isn't there, you guys? Welcome, brother. Marijuana safety, my friend. Coming up next, Mr. Matthew Abel. He is the Executive Director of Michigan NORML. He sits on Everett Swift's board over there at Michigan Hemp. Yes. He's been practicing cannabis law for 25 years here in Michigan. Please welcome Matthew Abel.
Yeah. Happy hash bash, everybody. My name is Matt Abel. I'm the Executive Director of Michigan NORML. If you're not a member of Michigan NORML, you should join. Yeah. Because NORML is about repealing prohibition. This prohibition has gone on too long, and it's time to change that. And we can have a lot of fun doing it, but we need to do the political work that needs to get done. So this is not my first hash bash in Ann Arbor. I've been here once or twice. But for those of you who it is your first time, can you see a show of hands? Yeah! Bring more people with you next year. Eventually, we won't have to have this hash bash, or we will have it as a celebration. For those of you who don't know, just a little bit of history. The hash bash started in 1971. What happened was when John Sinclair went to prison for selling 2 joints to an undercover cop and got 9.5 to 10 years, he appealed that case. Well, what happened was the Supreme Court said that all the controlled substances laws in Michigan were cruel and unusual punishment, and they struck down the entire Controlled Substances Act. So for a period of about 3 months in Michigan in 1971, there were no marijuana or other controlled substances laws. And so what happened, the new laws, the legislature passed laws to take effect, and they took effect on April 1st. And so the folks that were here in Ann Arbor at that time decided that on April 1st they were going to have a protest. And the point of having on April 1st was to say, yesterday this stuff was legal, today you've made it illegal, and we don't care! And this illegality has gone on long enough, and it's time to change the laws. Marijuana is not wrong. It should not be illegal. It was made illegal through fraud of the government, but the only way it's it's going to change is through citizen action. That means you all need to register and vote. When people called me about the McQueen decision a month ago, and they said, we're really upset there are no more patient-to-patient transfers and no dispensaries legal, what should we do? And I said, do you know who your state representative is? And most of them unfortunately said no. Well, it's time to find out who your state representative is. Is there anybody here from Mount Pleasant, from Isabella County? All right, well, your representative is the chair of the Judiciary Committee in the House, and he's the one who's holding up the legislation on House Bill 4271, the Provisioning Center bill. So if you live in Mount Pleasant, when you get home, you contact your state representative, Kevin Cotter. Kevin Cotter, and you tell Mr. Cotter, we want hearings on House Bill 4271. The patients are not being protected. So, anyway, we're hoping the sun will come out, but whether it does or not, it's a beautiful day here in Ann Arbor. It's always a good day for hash bash. Make sure y'all go to the Monroe Street Fair later. Tonight there's an event at the Clarion Hotel, a fundraiser for Michigan Normal. We hope you'll all go. So, thank you all very much. To Charmy and to Mark and the committee. I appreciate it. Happy hash bash, everybody!
We now have the pleasure of introducing two elected officials. Over the past 3 years, I've met a lot of politicians. And to be perfectly honest, I don't like a lot of them. I don't feel like they're really doing their jobs. I don't feel like some of them are really representing the people that they're supposed to represent. Our next speaker is a city councilwoman for Ann Arbor. Sabra Briere is one of those people I've had the pleasure of meeting that truly does her job better than most. Her name is also the combination of two of my favorite cheeses, Brie cheese and Gruyere cheese. This woman has truly made a difference for all of you out there. Please join me in welcoming City Councilwoman Sabra Briere.
I'm kind of the low-key person here at this event, so don't expect me to wind you up and send you on to the next guy, because he's good at winding you up all by himself. My name's Sabra. I sit on City Council, and oddly enough, this isn't my issue. My issue is good laws. My issue isn't medical marijuana. It's not recreational marijuana. It's actually making laws that work for people, that are understandable, and that you can obey. One of the problems we face is that the Michigan legislation that allowed for medical marijuana didn't tighten up all those possible loopholes, and that a lot of people in law enforcement wanted to find their way through those cracks to limit your ability to be patients, to limit your ability to be caretakers, to limit your ability to obey the law. And that's a problem for me, because I believe in good laws. So, you've heard a lot of people tell you today, contact your legislators. I have to tell you that works locally too. This was not my issue, but I was given what I considered a very badly written piece of legislation, and I had to go in and try to fix it. People behind me, people in front of me, contacted me and told me why it was bad for them, and I listened. I would not say it was the best of all possible pieces of legislative art, but I would say that I listened, and that other people on City Council listened, and if we could just get the people in Lansing to listen, we'd be so much farther ahead in having laws that you can obey, that we can implement, and that respect your civil rights. That's what we're here about. Yeah, I'd love to say that we're going to legalize marijuana, and if you all write to your legislators, and frankly, if you register to vote, and you actually remember when the election day is, lots of people don't. It can make a difference because you can hold those people you've elected accountable, and if they disappoint you, you can get them out the next time. But at the same time, what you really want is to be able to be at least I think what you want is to be law-abiding, reasonable, rational people who go about their daily lives without fear. And that's what I want for you. I don't care if you're here on this campus where smoking marijuana is illegal, or you're out on State Street where smoking marijuana is a $25 fine. I want you to know what your rights are, and I want you to know how to stay safe. Because it's not to my advantage to have you all cluttering up our jails when we've got real needs to jail people who are rapists and murderers and mad bombers. So they gave me 5 minutes to talk, and I'm really not going to take that whole 5 minutes. Ann Arbor, yeah, thanks, I appreciate that. Ann Arbor City Council passed legislation to allow for dispensaries, but we're all hung up because the state government hasn't passed legislation that makes dispensaries legal. We need that legislation, and that means those of you who are not from Ann Arbor, you need to be writing your individual representatives in Lansing, your state senators, your state representatives, and you need to call them up. You need to go visit them. You need to go to their coffee hours. You need to make them understand there's a human need here. And you represent that human need. And that you're going to vote.
No more pills!
So the final thing before I hand this back to Mark Passerini or Charmy Wilson, whichever one comes to grab it from me. The most important thing you can do is act on your convictions. I've acted on my convictions that legislation should be easy to understand, should respect the civil rights of the people who are affected by that legislation, and that it should be easy for the police to appropriately implement that legislation. They don't need gray areas where they're deciding whether they can arrest you before they found out if you're guilty. They don't need to break down your doors and then determine, oh, yeah, we got to walk away from this one because they've got illegal growth. We need legislation that's really clear and easy for them to understand too, because oddly enough, the police work for us. They work for all of us. And they're there to protect all of us. So we need that to come out of Lansing. I need your voices. No matter what you're doing here today, Monday, I want you back at work making those noises for your state legislators. And those of you who are new to Ann Arbor, I saw some hands up. Who's here for the first time? I want to welcome you to Ann Arbor. I've called Ann Arbor home since 1973, which means I wasn't at the first hash bash. But Ann Arbor is my home because we are a tolerant, interesting, creative place, and we want tolerant, interesting, creative people to be here. Welcome to Ann Arbor. Go spend money.
Thank you, Sabra. You know, even the legislators are joining us today to raise their voices against this unjust war. I would like for you to please welcome House Representative Jeff Irwin. He represents Ann Arbor, where you are standing right now. He is a friend to all things cannabis. He understands that this needs to end. Please give him all of your money and a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is State Representative Jeff Irwin, and I believe we need to legalize marijuana. Absolutely. There's so many great activists out here, and the good news today on the 42nd anniversary of Hash Bash is that we're winning. We're winning the battle to end marijuana prohibition in America. Absolutely. We've seen 2 states, Washington and Colorado, lead the way. Lead the way. Let's hear a cheer for Washington. Let's hear a cheer for Colorado. Absolutely. In a few minutes, you're going to hear from a great activist who led the campaign in Colorado. And I hope you listen very, very carefully to this Mr. Convert, because we're going to follow their lead here in Michigan, and we're going to end the drug war. We're going to legalize marijuana in Michigan. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
But we need all of your help. We need all of your help. And you've heard from a lot of great activists up here who've been working in Lansing and working in their communities to end marijuana prohibition. And I want to call on all of you to be activists in your community. Stand up, call your city council member, call your state representative. My colleagues in Lansing need to get to know you. They need to hear from you. So make sure you pick up the phone, write an email, and get your friends to do the same. I know probably about half the people here are listening to my words, and if only half of those people wrote their legislators, we would have a flood of calls coming into Lansing, and we would have a renewed interest on behalf of legislators in sticking their necks out and doing what's right. Because when you call up your legislator and you ask them, do you believe it's just that we lock people in prison for smoking marijuana? No. That's right. What kind of answer are they going to give? There's only one answer to that question. The answer is no. The answer is no. That's right. The amount of blood and treasure that we've spilled during this failed drug war is an embarrassment to our country. It's an embarrassment to our foundational values as Americans. This is supposed to be a free country. So I want to take the chance to thank you for all being here. Thank you for all the work you've already done. I can tell you in the last 2 years in the legislature, when a number of bills were introduced to slash up our medical marijuana law, to make it more difficult for patients and caregivers to do their business and to help people who are sick, a ton of activists came to Lansing. They rallied on the Capitol lawn. They spoke to their legislators. They came to committee. And the bills that we got out in the end really provided an opportunity for caregivers and patients to keep up doing what they're doing, to keep helping people in Michigan. And I just want to repeat that we're winning. We are winning. The polls today say 52% of the people in this state support legalization of marijuana, and it's going in the right direction.
Yes!
So I just want to leave you with one last thought. I know there's a lot more interesting folks who are coming behind me that you want to hear. I want to leave you with one last thought. Just recently, I've been working on a bill that really takes off on the efforts that so many people have been engaged in across the state. As you know, last year, a number of brave and aggressive activists passed decriminalization efforts in Detroit, and Ypsilanti, and in Grand Rapids, and in Traverse City, and in Kalamazoo, and in Flint. And I know that we're going to see more of those local ballot initiatives from all of you making lowest law enforcement priority ballot initiatives, decriminalization ballot initiatives. And when I saw all that activity, I said, I need to step up and do my part. I need to introduce a decriminalization bill in the state legislature.
Thank you.
We need to take this policy that we have in Ann Arbor, where if you have an ounce or less of marijuana for personal use, it's not going to be a misdemeanor, it's not going to be a felony, it's going to be a simple infraction. Yep, and there's a number of activists across the state who've been laying the groundwork in their cities and in their townships, and I'm going to be bringing that issue to the state capitol, and we're going to introduce that bill. I'm going to need all of your help to reach out to your legislators and ask them to pass the bill. That's the first step that we can take.
There are 7 deadly sins, Captain. Gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, pride, lust, and envy.